Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a new week, which means a new vlog. So this week, I am still working on finishing off my TBR of book club books. I've got 2 left. So I've got The Lost Bookshop, and then I have My Secret Society of Irregular, so I'm definitely going to be reading those this week. I'm also hitting up my political fantasies for Ramathon. So I read Wicked King, so I'm probably going to end up reading Queen of Nothing next, and maybe just kind of finishing off that series. Then there's also the next book in the Woven Kingdom series that I want to read, so I might pick that one up next. I'm not entirely sure what direction I'm going to be going in. I do know, however, that the molding that I ordered, the crown molding that I ordered to add to my bookshelves in the library, is coming in tomorrow. So I'm probably going to be working on that a little bit and getting those up. I'll probably put clips or whatever in of me working on it, but for the most part, I'm going to be doing that in a series of redoing my bookshelves or redoing my library. So I might touch on that a little bit, but otherwise, I've just been really hitting the reading hard. I read 6 books last week, so I'm hoping that I can keep up the momentum because it's been good. So right now I'm reading The Lost Bookshop. So far it is, again, not what I expected from the synopsis. It's basically about a bookshop that vanishes, and there's 3 people who are there's 3 people's lives who are affected by this bookshop and it disappearing. It arrives and disappears and that sort of thing. I'm about 100 pages in, and so far nothing magical has happened. It's basically following a woman who is running away from marriage. It is the 20s, and I believe it's the 20s. It's the 1920s for Opaline, and she is from a more prestigious family, and her expectation is to marry off. So her brother is forcing her to marry someone that she has never met, doesn't know, doesn't love. And rather than marrying this man, she decides to run away, and she has always had a love for old books, and she finds herself in Paris so far. And then we have another character. We have Martha, and Martha is set in modern day. Martha's story is set in modern day. She is a woman who is escaping an abusive marriage, and she basically flees and goes to Dublin and is hiding there, basically starting her life over. She becomes a housekeeper for an eccentric old woman, and one day she runs into Henry. And Henry is the third perspective in this story. He is a scholar who is on a quest to find a missing manuscript. And the last known place that missing manuscript was in this bookshop that just has disappeared. But they're all interconnected because the reason that Henry knows that this bookshop even existed was because he found a letter that was written by Opaline with the address of the lot next door to Martha's house that she's the housekeeper of. So they're all interconnected. All 3 of them are interconnected. It's surrounding this lost bookshop. So far it's just going over their lives. There's nothing magical that has happened, but we will see as the story progresses if any magic shows up. But as far as it goes right now, it's still a great story, even if it's just talking about their experiences in their lives. I'm still enjoying it. There's just hasn't been any fantastical elements so far. But other than that, I'm gonna keep reading it, see how it goes. I do have some editing and filming to do today. Today is my editing and filming day so that I can start getting some stuff posted. So I don't know how much exactly I'm gonna be reading of that today. I probably won't be reading it until this evening when it's closer to before bed. I always read before bed, which is a terrible idea because then I end up staying up way too late, and then I start my day really late the next morning because I sleep in. It's a never-ending cycle, but that's okay. But that's what I've got going on today, and we'll see how the rest of it progresses. So I will keep you guys updated on how that's going. All right, so just a quick update. I haven't updated you guys in a while because I've been really busy. You can kind of see behind me, my bookshelves are a hot mess, and I've got random things everywhere. I'm actually building out my bookcases in my library. Well, one side of them, not these, but the Billy's on the other side. Here, I'll show you. So I'm actually building these out. So I've been reading, but I haven't been updating. This actually looks like a really cool shot with this like white behind it. But anyways, so I did finish The Lost Bookshop. I absolutely loved that book. It's not what I expected. There's really a very minute fantastical element to it. It follows 3 perspectives, 2 in the modern day, 1 is a historical perspective, a flashback basically. So the historical perspective is a young woman who is being forced into a marriage that she does not want to be in. So instead she flees and she starts another life, basically hiding her identity as a rare bookseller. But unfortunately for her, her brother, who is now the head of the family as her father passed away, keeps finding her and is trying to drag her back into that life. And then it follows 2 other characters. One is a young lady who is escaping an abusive marriage, and she finds this eccentric old woman who needs a housekeeper, and she becomes a housekeeper for this lady. She meets a young man. The young man is a scholar. He is researching a lost manuscript, and the last known location of that manuscript was a bookshop that can no longer be found. The person who owned and ran that bookshop is the historical perspective. So it's kind of all 3 of their stories and how they intertwine and come together. The really cool thing is that magical element. There is a fantastical element in it, and it has to do with the bookshop. And at the end of the book, when you find out what happened to everybody, it all comes together and you see that fantastical element. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't have it to show you because my books are in disarray right now. They are double stacked in all kinds of crazy ways, are the bookshelves in front of me, the bookshelves in my bedroom. I didn't have to bring any upstairs, luckily, because I double stacked things. But if I hadn't double stacked, I might have had to bring them upstairs too. But anyway, so I don't have any books to hold up and show you because they're all a mess, and I don't even want to attempt to look at them to try and find anything. But I read that. I read Queen of Nothing because it's still March, so I'm still doing this political fantasy situation for Realmathon. So I read Queen of Nothing, which is the 3rd book in the Cruel Prince series, and that was great. That finished off that portion of the series. It is a 3-book series. There's a novella, there's another just story that is from in that world, and then there's a spin-off series that starts. So I do have more books to read in that world, but that finishes like that plot line of that 3-book series. If you aren't familiar with what The Cruel Prince is, it is a political fantasy. It is a human girl who was raised in the Fae world, and basically all of the stuff that she deals with. There's a lot of political intrigue. There's a lot of fighting within the Fae for the crown. It is well known for being like one of the YA romanticises back in the day. There is a romantic subplot between the main character Jude and Carden, who is the Fae prince. He's a dick, but we love him for some strange reason. And yeah, I didn't enjoy the 1st book so much. Second half of the 2nd one into the 3rd one, I really enjoyed. So they ended up being quite good, and I'm excited that I finally finished them. I am reading 2 books here. Let me grab them. So these were left out of the chaos. So I am currently reading The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It's the last one on my TBR, so that was on my TBR shelf, so it avoided the chaos. So far, it's very slow, so it's basically a cozy romance, contemporary with a bit of a fantastical element. It's about a young lady who is a witch, and she is hired to take care of 3 young witch girls and help them acclimate to society so that they can, live amongst other people without getting caught. And there is a romantic element because I guess she becomes romantically involved with one of the guys who lives there. I think he's the librarian of the home that she's working in. So far, it's slow. I haven't gotten that far into it, but so far it's pretty slow. I'm reading that one, and then the other one that I'm reading is another political fantasy, 3rd one in the series. Again, this is All of This Twisted Glory by Tahara Mafi. It is the 3rd book in the This Woven Kingdom series. This is actually my daughter's edition. These are the American copies. I have the Illumicrate editions, which I read, but they are lost in the chaos right now. So I just grabbed this off my daughter's shelf because it's easier. So these are the 2 books that I'm currently reading. As I go through them, I'll let you know more of what I think. But I'm probably gonna listen to this one on audio while I do this. I have to sand these down. I've got like the wood filler and stuff in all the holes. So I need to sand that down. I need to scuff sand these. And then I need to do like my primer coats. And it's prime and then sand and then prime and then I get to paint. So I'm going to be doing this probably for a couple of days and it's going to take up a lot of my time. So I'm going to be utilizing audiobooks as much as I can to try and, you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But I'm definitely going to do this one on audio because it is slow and it's not been catching my attention. This one I tried audiobook and I'm like not focusing enough on it. And this one I really want to focus on because I love this series. So I probably won't audiobook this one. I'm probably just going to read this at night and then audiobook this. And then when I finish that, I'm assuming my project will still not be done, so I'll have to figure out something else to listen to. But that is my plan for now. So yeah, a lot of chaos. I'll try and keep you updated some more so that I can actually finish this vlog and get it posted because I haven't made any of the videos that I've been wanting to make and scheduled to make because I've been doing this and it's been so time consuming. Yesterday, I worked from like 10 in the morning until like 9 o'clock at night, just attaching the trim and like filling all the holes and caulking all the spaces. Like that's very tedious work. And the sanding and the painting and the priming, that's also going to be hella tedious. So it's probably going to take me like days. I'm so sad about it. Like, I'm so sad about it. It's a lot of work. And there are a lot of shelves. Like 1, 2, 3. There's 6 large Billies and 1 skinny with 2 extenders on each top. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shelves times 7. It's a lot. It's a lot of shelves. But anyways, it's gonna look really awesome when it's done. But right now, I'm just very much tired of it. But I need to do it because otherwise I can't access any of my books. And that makes life difficult. So there's only so many I can steal from my children. All right, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. So wish me. But it is March 23rd. What? Why is Amazon saying that I cannot? So I'm priming, which is why I'm covered in paint. It's fun. Well, it's primer technically. And I look like a hot mess because I am just getting things done, obviously. But I want to give you an update. I did finish the audiobook. I still have my AirPod in. Let me take that out. I just finished the audiobook for The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and it's cute. There's nothing all that extravagant to talk about. The story follows a young witch who is recruited to teach 3 young witches in a magical house, basically, how to keep their power in check. This is a world where witches are hiding and keep away from each other. They don't meet up or contact each other very much or live together because the head witches basically have decided that it is bad news, that it risks too much power being in one place, which can cause them to be found out. There is a curse in this where all witches are orphaned. Some curse that, you know, basically caused it where whenever witches are born, their parents die shortly afterwards. And so most of the women in this have no family. So it's cute. It's a found family story with a bit of romance. It's cozy. I enjoyed it. There was nothing like amazingly great about it. There wasn't anything bad about it either. It was just like, okay. So yeah, I liked it. That was it. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else. I'm priming. I've got 2.5 shelves done, and then I still have to do the rest. I'm hoping that I can get them done today because I want to start painting so that I can get my books my life back in order. But as of right now, I'm just trying to get through it. The primer that I'm using is like it's a shellac primer, so it's supposed to work really well for these. And it'll be in my video where I go through like what I did to build these out. But it's very fumey. Like, sorry, their dog's barking. It's very fumey. The smell is kind of making me dizzy, so I'm having to like do a couple of shelves and then take a break, and then do a couple of shelves and then take a break, because the smell is just getting too much. And I've got fans going and everything, but I don't have the windows open in this part of the house because, oddly enough, my windows don't open. It's weird. For some strange reason, they built the new houses where the first floor, the windows don't open. There's only one window in all of the first floor that opens, and that's the one in my bedroom because fire code requires that. But none of the windows, like in my library or my kitchen or my dining room, open at all. So I just have the fans going and the windows open upstairs and the windows open in my bedroom. Like, all of the windows that can open are open to try and kind of keep the smell from filling the house, but working so close with the primer, because I have to basically like stick my face in bookcases, it's not going well. So I'm doing it slowly, but hopefully I will have that done before tonight, and then I can start painting tomorrow. And then after painting, I have to let that dry, and then hopefully in like 2 days I can have my bookshelves back, which would be really, really awesome. If I could finish priming today, I mean, it's early in the day. So if I can finish priming today and then paint this evening and then do my second coat tomorrow morning, then I can probably start putting books on the day after, because I want to at least let it set for like 24 hours before I start trying to put books on it, because the last thing I want is paint to get on my books. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm assuming I'm going to need 2 coats of paint because the color is very dark. Let me show you. I have the sample. That is the color I'm going with. It's Navel by Sherwin-Williams. There's also a bear color that I was going to use, which was also like navy, dark navy or something like that. But I ended up going to Lowe's instead of Home Depot because they were the only ones who had the particular stuff that I needed. So I ended up going there, but I got this color. So I think it's going to look good. But it's going to be dark, so I'm probably going to have to put 2 coats on to make sure it's that dark. But anyways, that's it. I don't know what I'm going to be listening to next because I clearly have a lot of work to do, and an audiobook helps it go by. I listened to A Very Secret Side of Irregular, which is in like 4 hours. So that was last night when I was sanding, and this morning while I've been priming. So I need to find another audiobook to listen to. I do want to read the 3rd book in This Woven Kingdom, but I want to like read it instead of listen to it. So I have to find something else in the library that I own that I want to listen to. Okay, so this is gonna be my final update because I've read quite a few books so far for this vlog. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, I've read 5. So normally I do 4 books per vlog, but I did 5 this time because I was distracted by navy. Navel, technically, that's the color. But just an update, so I did read 2 more books. So I read Heavenbreaker by Sara. I listened to the audio of this while I was painting. I would not recommend it because I was getting lost. The audio was good, like the narrator was fine, but I was getting lost because of the format of the book. Like, it would just say random things, and I'm like, what are these random things? And I had to actually go digging through my nonsense of randomly collected books because of this to find it so that I can actually look at it. And the formatting is a little weird in some places. It just gives you random numbers, and it's like, you're like, what are those numbers for? And then you realize it's like the chapter titles, and then they give you definitions, and then when it comes to like communication threads, like texting threads, basically, you can get a little lost. So this is definitely one that you might want to follow along when you are listening to it. Maybe that's just a me thing. Maybe it's because I'm not a pro audiobooker. I usually, if I do an audiobook, I'm following along as I'm listening to it because I need to see the words for it to process. So I did read this one. It's good. I gave it like a 4-star. It's not a bad book. It's actually a pretty good book. It's basically like Pacific Rim meets Red Rising sort of a thing, which was enjoyable. It's set in space. It's got the same kind of like writing style with like the main character and like the inner monologue, and she's got all of this going on, and she's like, should I become this, or I want to be this, or, you know, should I just die, or should I do this? So her like inner monologue was very reminiscent of Darrow from Red Rising, but the plot is very different. Like, while in Red Rising, Darrow's like going hard through like the correct political channels, and he's just, you know, abusing their own system from within, she's definitely a part of a group that's going on the underside of things. Like, they are in the underbelly of the world, using like connections and murder and stuff like that to get things done. But it's really good. I enjoyed it. I would say that the only reason it got a 4-star, well, there's 2 reasons it got a 4-star. One, it's a nasty cliffhanger. I hate books that leave you on a nasty cliffhanger, and this one does. It's just like, it's a nasty cliffhanger. And then the other thing was that the writing style wasn't the greatest. It wasn't terrible by any means. It's not unreadable, but it wasn't just like the most well-written thing. But it is a Red Tower book, so I mean, I feel like they don't invest in editors or want to invest in editors. I don't know, but otherwise it was pretty good. Sorry, I have a cat attacking things. And then the other book that I read, which I don't know why well, I know why I waited, but the moose. Stop. Hold on, give me 1 sec. I have a kitten who's being a monster. No moose. Ooh, sorry, I'm like trying to maneuver around books. Okay, and then the next book that I read to close out this vlog was actually Godsgrave by Jay Kristoff. So this is the sequel to Nevernight. It's the second book in the Nevernight series. And I read Nevernight quite a while ago, the first book, and I never picked up the second one. I really love Nevernight. I love Jay Kristoff's writing style. Like, it's humorous and sarcastic and serious and all of the good things, and I love Jay Kristoff's writing so much. But there is a character in here that in the first book I hated with a passion, and then that character becomes very important in this book and gets like a redemption sort of a situation. And I never wanted to read it because I hated that character so much. I was told by one of my friends, she's like, it's good, you have to read it. It's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not a big part of the plot. That character is not a big part of the plot. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But I still didn't read it. But then I decided, okay, I think it's time, because I'm doing that whole thing where I'm finishing series that I've never finished, and this is one of them. So I've read everything else that Jay Kristoff has except for this and the sequel. So I decided, or the one that comes after this. So I decided that it was time, and I picked it up, and I absolutely loved it. It's a 5-star. I would give it more than 5 stars if I could. I love Jay Kristoff's writing. It's just hilarious. There's actually, so if you're going through the book, there's actually like footnotes. Now, mind you, again, I have a degree in history, so footnotes are kind of like my life's work. Everything that I do has footnotes, but there's like whole footnote sections, right, where they explain, you know, what one word is, kind of like Emily Wiles does. But it's hilarious because the narrator of the story is like the most like hilarious, like if you think of the narrator, it's Jay Kristoff. Jay Kristoff is the narrator because he is that like sarcastic, hilarious like person from like the personality that he projects online, and when I've met him in person, like that's the kind of personality that he has, and this is like the personality of the footnotes. Like, this person is just giving you information, but they're sarcastic about it, and it's hilarious, and I love this book. So, oh, the kittens are being demons. But anyways, so that is my wrap up for this vlog. I'm sorry it took longer than normal, but I just hadn't been filming for the vlog. I haven't been filming for the vlog. I've been filming for this other project that I've been doing, which you will see soon enough in a reveal, because as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm gonna start recording me organizing my books. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I hope you guys like the reveal when it's all done. I'm super excited so far about it. But that would be the vlog for this week. I don't know how long this is gonna be. It might be really short, and I might have to put like snippets of this in there to kind of explain away what I've been doing for the past week. But yeah, so that is that. I just want to say thank you guys again for staying tuned and sticking with me. If you did like this video, please don't forget to like it. And if you haven't already, please remember to subscribe. That way you can get more bookish content from me. But that is it, guys. I will catch you next time.